welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kay, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at my beauty empties from March. So if you're not familiar with what an empties video is, it's basically where people use up their beauty products throughout the month, keep hold of their rubbish so that they can hold it up on camera and talk about how they feel about those products. So I do have a little basket of or tub rather of X goodies here. Now I'm not going to be talking about these in any particular order, it's pretty much just going to be how it comes out of the tub, but I am going to mention a couple of things first just because they are related to my project pan. So a little bit of a spoiler for my project pan, but they are empty, so we're going to talk about them now as well. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is this from Illamasqua, and this is the Hydra Veil primer. Now this was just a little deluxe mini, I think it's 7mm. Yeah, 7mm deluxe mini size, and I finally finished one up. If you've been watching my project pan, you'll know that it took me a little while to do that, but I did finally finish one, so happy about that. I really like this primer. I do find it really hydrating and it just feels quite nice on the skin for me. It kind of felt like an extra skincare step. It just felt quite nice. It did have a slight cooling effect to it as well. Well, I felt it did anyway. And I do have another one of these still in my project pan, but once that's finished, I'm actually tempted to get a full size one just because I did enjoy it so much. So we'll see whether I will or not. I don't know. I do have a lot of primers that I need to get through, but I did really enjoy this. And the last little spoiler for my project pan is perfume samples. So I did finish up 2 in March. I finished the Burberry Her Intense and the Mugler Angel. This is the Eau de Toilette version, and I am led to believe that the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum differ in their fragrance, so I don't know anything about that. All I can tell you is that I think I quite liked this. I say I think. I did enjoy this, but it took me a couple of uses to sort of decide that I did. I tried it, and the first time I tried it, initially I sprayed it and went, that's really nice. And then after a couple of minutes I was like, is it though? I don't know. I can't describe it other than it just lingered sort of up my nose, which typically I don't enjoy. So as I said, it did take me a couple of uses to decide whether I actually did enjoy this or not, but I think I've decided I do. Would I buy a full size version? I don't know. I'm tempted, but I don't know whether that's just because I really like the Angel bottles. They're like star shaped, and I just love the bottles of those, but do I really want to buy a full size perfume of something that initially I wasn't sure about because of the bottle? This is me, so maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I did actually really enjoy this, so if I was to get a full size, whether I buy it myself or someone was to gift it to me, then I wouldn't be upset. And then there was the Burberry Her Intense, which I didn't hate it, but it just wasn't quite me. It was floral, but it also had a bit of a sickly sweetness to it as well. I just didn't get on with it as much. I used it because, as I said, it wasn't the worst perfume in the world, but I just sort of thought, well, once that's gone, that's it. So I wouldn't repurchase this. It's just not something that I see myself wanting to wear again. So that's those. So that was all of the project pan items. So now we're on to the rest. And the first thing that I'm going to pull out is this. So this is from Rhode, and it's the Dragon's Blood Cleansing Water. It's a micellar water with hyaluronic acid and vitamin B3. I can't remember when I got this, but I do remember it was from TK Maxx and it was pretty much a bargain compared to the RRP anyway. Rhode can be a little bit on the pricey side. So I thought, you know what, that's the right price, I'll give it a go. It did its job, didn't send my skin backwards in any way, so that was really nice. I do actually have a deluxe mini of this, so I'm not unhappy about that. It's definitely something that I would use again. As for whether I would repurchase it, if it was at TK Maxx price, then maybe, but full price, not so sure. There are other micellar waters that are cheaper that I would probably like just as much, so not at full price, but I did quite like it. And another product from Rhode, and this was the Bee Venom Cleansing Balm. Now I'm pretty sure we had this in a subscription box at some point, I think last year, and I was intrigued by it and I was curious to try it, but I was also a little bit scared to try it. Now, as far as I was aware, I'm not allergic to bees, so I didn't think I'd have any kind of reaction to it, but it does actually say if you're allergic to bee stings, don't use this, so I was a bit apprehensive, but it was okay. The only thing, of course, was that as a cleansing balm, I kind of like to be able to use it all over my face, and this around the eyes, not a good idea. So it was a bit frustrating that I couldn't use it as a full-on sort of makeup remover, but it did its job elsewhere. Would I buy it again? No, just because I want something that I can use all over. I don't want to have to use one cleansing balm for, you know, around this part and then use an eye safe cleansing balm around the eyes. But that's just because I want as little fuss as possible when it comes to things like that. So no, I wouldn't. And also, again, it's Rhode. It's probably quite pricey, although I haven't looked into it, mainly because I don't want it. But it was okay. I will mention though that it did make my face feel a little bit warm, not uncomfortable, not like I was having a reaction kind of warm, but just sort of a bit of a tingling sensation. But it was very mild, very light. Nothing at all to be concerned about, but it is worth mentioning if maybe you've got sensitive skin, maybe this might not be a good idea, and I definitely wouldn't use it if you've got broken skin. I can't even imagine what that would do to that. So yeah, that's that one. So next is something that's lost its label, so you're actually not going to be able to see what it is, but it is the Rituals body scrub. This one was in the Rituals of Sakura line, and it was just a sugar scrub basically. So you can see it's empty. I can't show you any of the product because there's nothing in there, but you just scooped out what you needed, rubbed it where you needed to rub it, and job done. I actually really did enjoy this. It did seem to be a bit oil heavy, like the oil would just collect in it, but I actually quite liked that because I found that was quite moisturising for my skin as well. Sometimes when you use a body scrub it can feel a bit drying, but this was nice. It's not the mildest scrub I've ever tried, but I quite like a harsher scrub anyway. You know, I don't want to be like scraping my skin off, but I want to feel the scrub, if that makes sense. And this did the job for me, and with having the oil in it as well, after I got out of the bath or the shower or whatever, it just felt nice. So really enjoyed that. Would I repurchase? I probably would actually. I did really enjoy it. I do have a couple of little body scrub type things, like samples and things like that to try and get through at the moment, but I don't have very many, so I am thinking about getting a new body scrub soon, and because I liked this one so much, I might just repurchase. Next is something that isn't an empty, I'm just decluttering it, and it is the Way Leave-In Conditioner. I think we had this in a FabFitFun. I'm not sure how long ago, it was quite some time ago now. And you can see that I've used some, but I just don't want to use this anymore. Every time I use this, my hair just feels really heavy and greasy, and by the following day I just feel like I want to wash my hair again. I don't want to be washing my hair every day purely based on the conditioner that I'm using. It seems a bit counterproductive to me. So no, definitely wouldn't repurchase this again, and I'm getting rid of what I've got left. And next we're on to masks, and I have a few. So the first ones I want to talk about are these, and these are the Patchology Flash Patch, and it's the Wink and a Kiss 5-minute iron lip gels. Now I'm not sure if I've talked about these already because this was a pack of 2 and I've just used the second lot. So I know I've used one before, but I can't remember whether I mentioned it or not. I probably did, but I don't know when that was either. So I'm just going to talk about them again. So essentially this was a lip mask and an eye mask. We had 2 of each. I really liked them. The eye gels felt really nice and cooling and soothing, which is what I want from eye patches. And then the lip masks again just felt nice and hydrating. I have been suffering a bit with dry lips over the past couple of months, just because I've not been going out an awful lot and it's been cold, so central heating's been on. My skin in general has just been in need of some hydration, so I decided to dig these out and use them, and like I said, I enjoyed them. Would I repurchase them? I'm not sure. I don't actually know how much these cost, but I think Patchology, whilst I don't think it's massively expensive, I don't think it's the cheapest option either. So I would need to look into that before I made a proper decision about that. But again, if I was to get them in a beauty subscription box, or I was to receive them as part of a gift, then I'd be happy enough to use them. Then we've got 3 Wonder Beauty Baggage Claim Gold eye masks. Now 2 I've had for a while. I think I had these in a FabFitFun, again I'm not sure how long ago, and then I did get one in, it was either a Glossybox or a Look Fantastic fairly recently. As I said, I have used them before, and I know I've mentioned before as well, I do quite like these. They're not my favourites. I think between these and the Patchology ones, I'd rather have the Patchology ones. But these are nice, and you know, I've got them. They were nice enough to use, so I got some use out of them. Would I repurchase? Again, probably not. I do have some favourite eye gels, and they're from the brand OK. I think they're eucalyptus and ginseng. They're my favourites. But yeah, as I said, these were nice, but I wouldn't rush out to buy them. They're not my holy grail eye gels. Next up, we've got this Fox face mask. So this was just a sheet mask. It's from the brand Sense Beauty. I bought this in February, I think. It was really cheap. It was from Home Bargains, which, if you don't know, is basically just a discount store that sells everything from makeup and beauty to homewares and food, and there's all sorts and everything in there, and everything's usually at a discount price. I know these were less than £1. I think they were about 59-69 pence, something like that. I thought it looked cute. I thought I'd give it a go. I didn't hate it, but there was a couple of things about it. The first one being that this was huge on my face. I did take a photo, so I'll pop that on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. But basically it was just so big, like there was just so much extra around the edges, and around my nose. It just sat really funny. But yeah, for me this one just wasn't amazing. There was a lot of serum in here, so they definitely weren't skimping on the serum in spite of the low cost of these. But I don't know, it just wasn't my favourite. Would I buy them again? As cheap as they are, I'm not going to say no. Purely because if I want a sheet mask and I want to get one quickly and I want one cheap enough, and if I happen to be in Home Bargains and they have them again, then I'm not going to say I'm not going to pick one up. But I know that it's not one that I'm going to enjoy as much as others that I've tried. And then next we've got these, and I'm going to have to hold them upside down unfortunately, just because there's still serum inside and it's trying to leak all over the place. But these are the SF Glow Suns Out Pouts Out Gold Foil Lip Masks. I had a pack of these in my spring FabFitFun box, and I'm getting serum all over the place. I'm just going to have to put those down for a second. I'll just hold one upside down. But yeah, as I said, I had these in the spring FabFitFun box. There was a pack of 4 of them, so I've used 2. I've got 2 left. And these, again, don't hate them, but just a couple of little things I'm not keen on. Now these did have an animal print design on them, leopard print I think it was, which I'm not a big lover of animal print, so aesthetically these just didn't do it for me. But that aside, the product itself, did it actually work for me? Yes, it did. There was a lot of product in here. There was a lot of serum in here. So much so that it just sort of started to drip off while I was sort of using it, which wasn't great. So next time I use these, I'm going to have to try and remember to give them a bit of a squeeze before I apply them. The other thing about these is that they don't seem to have that little sort of hole in the middle. So once these are on, no talking, no moving your mouth whatsoever, or you're going to get a mouthful of serum. I know the last one that I used it in a morning. Big mistake. I'd got my 4-year-old son trying to talk to me, and the only response that Mummy would give him for a few minutes was because I just didn't want to open my mouth, and in the end I just took it off because it was too much work. So not a fan of that. I have had lip masks before that have had a bit of a slit in there, so I can at least give a bit more of a verbal response to people if they do require my attention in that moment. But yeah, not horrendous, and I'm still going to use the other 2, but I don't think it's something that I would search out to buy again. So that's those. And then the last product that I've got is from Skimono, and this was the Intense Nourishment Plus hand masks. So it says a revitalising serum enriched with shea butter, aloe vera and hyaluronic acid in an innovative glove mask. I've had this for a while, and I remember when I got this I was really keen to try it because my hands are just permanently in need of help. So I was really excited to get these, and then for some reason I just put them in a drawer and never used them. So the other day I was having a bit of a sort out and an organise session, and I came across these at the back of the drawer and thought I really need to try these. So I put them on that night. They were okay. It felt a bit weird because I've never used hand masks before, so it was a bit of a new experience for me. So for 20 minutes I'm just sort of sat there in bed with my hands just in these gloves. My husband looked at me like I'd lost my mind, but that's usual when it comes to sort of my beauty things. That's why I have a YouTube channel. But once I took them off, my hands did feel really nice. They felt really soft and nourished. The serum, I wouldn't say the serum was very easy to absorb. I sort of felt like I was rubbing it into my hands and all the way up my arms for a little while afterwards. But I did feel like my hands were a little bit happier with me after I'd used them. I don't know if I would repurchase anything like this. It's not something that I see myself reaching for an awful lot. I mean, I didn't for a start, but even now that I've used it and I know that it felt quite nice, I don't know if it's enough to make me want to do this regularly. I might change my mind, but at the moment probably not. And that brings us to the end of my empties. So now it's over to you. What did you finish in March? Did you finish anything that you were sad to see go, or were you really happy to finally get something out of your life? Have you tried any of the products that I've mentioned today? If so, what do you think of them? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Just let me know all of that in the comments down below. I really do love to hear other people's thoughts and opinions. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out and lets me know that you're enjoying my content. If you're not already subscribed to my channel but you think you'd like to catch up with me more often, then I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button too. It's totally free and would help you to find me more easily in future. And with all of that being said, I really do hope everyone's well and staying safe, and I will see you all again in another video very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.